Wasn't Wellington the other one from California
No,
or from New York?
no, Mitchell.
Oh, yeah.
God damn it, Woodland. No, I'll never be senior.
Just like go to Alabama.
I'll go to Hawaii.
Okay.
We were trying to do a thing where it's like we're all gonna be Democrats from the South.
Well, I've already got my house.
Oh God, Gatsby's messaging me.
Oh yeah, he's asking if you're an I or not.
This
I'm an
thing
I.
here.
Now this is the thing here, Mr. President.
Mr. President, this thing here, I don't support speech legislation.
Have you guys?
It's just not
Clarence, has
gonna help
Gatsby
our nation.
been sending you that All right, thank you. I now call this committee to order, and we will begin the questioning process of General Tacky Shooter and the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Thank you. General. I now call this committee to order. We will begin with opening questions from myself, the chair, and then we will go to Senator Woodland, and then Senator Anubis, Ranking Member Mitchell, and Senate Minority Leader Angela or Alexander Sterling are not here today. However, they have expressed their concerns to me and made their intentions clear of how they will vote. And I look forward to having a good committee between the two generals and our committee. We will now move to Senator Woodland from California, if you would like to speak. All right, Senator Anubis, would you like to make any opening statements?
No, I'm good.
All right, we will now move to questioning. As chairman, I will begin. General Tacky Shotter, how long have you been serving in USA's military? All right. So for those of you watching the stream, this is a audio stream, so I will be saying what he says in the chat as the video is not being recorded. He said he's been serving for 3 to 4 weeks. Now, with your how much experience do you have serving in the and in armed forces type roles? All right. General Savior, this is mainly for you. I'm assuming you hired him to come on to the armed forces or into the armed forces.
Correct.
What made you hire him?
Well, I worked beside him before. He has served and he has shown that he is capable of his position, and he has done a lot since he has been appointed.
All right. General Schroeder, what are some of the things you intend to do alongside the chairman to try and improve our military from what it is now? All right. Now, with the development that we've seen with North Korean aggression, and the fast realization that we may have to begin increasing the amount of our or the size of our military. Um, the size of our military in a fast manner. What are some ways you can try and do that, or what are some ways you can hopefully see that happen and not compromise unit cohesion or unit effectiveness? All right. You said that you were the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff in the 20K USM. Just for clarification purposes, was that Stickies or was that another one? Yeah. Okay. Now I'm sure, like any former chairman, because I experienced this when I was chairman of TUSM, or Alamos or whatever people call them now. Um, I'm sure you can see a lot more people wanting to be like those general grade officers, those slag grade officers, and really wanting to advance their careers. What are some ways that you want to try that you could see trying to not only highlight um, being in that professional environment as a lower enlisted soldier or marine or even a staff NCO or senior NCO, and even those smaller level platoon commands? What are some ways you can try and make those more of an incentive? Because when you look at it, it's not just about those higher level commands. While they are important, it's not like that's not your core. So what are some ways you want to try and promote the base level infantry soldier, infantry marine, and things like that? If that makes any sense.
Tacky Shotter said that he thinks all instruction within all high ranks is key. If the officers show instruction, lower enlisted will want to work under those officers. They will look up to those certain generals and admire the place the chance to work under them no matter the pay grade. Also, I feel it is the type of staff you hire that will look for the opportunity to strive, not to gain power.
All right. I'm going to go ahead and yield the rest of my time to Senator Woodland if he would like to ask any questions. He now has the floor, and I'd like to thank you, General and Chairman Savior, for coming out tonight and participating in this. Senator Woodland, are you here? Uh, yeah. All right. We will be moving to Senator Anubis. Senator Anubis, are you there?
I'm here.
All right. You have unlimited time to ask any questions you'd like.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I only have a few questions to ask, not too many. But General Tacky, my first question is, what are your previous leadership roles in other groups, specifically as rank-wise? I know you were CJCS of the Stickies USM on the Rise, but what are some of the other notable leadership roles you have held in that group or any other group?
Tacky Shutter says CNO, VCNO, CNP, CMC, ACMC. Not only do these high officer positions matter, but there's one that path my way to my success. I'm not sure if he meant path, but that's what came out. Pave.
Will you state which job that was that paved the way to your success?
METCCO. Under African, he given me leadership skills, and I greatly appreciate him for giving me that position. He showed me to respect all ranks and work hard, and hard work will get you to a position of respect.
Okay, thank you for that answer. My next question is, how did you move up the chain so fast to vice chairman, joint chief of staff, and a general in just a short 3 to 4 weeks? How did you move up the chain so fast?
Well, African knew that I was going to help the military out.
Okay, understandable. I've been in the same situation. This one's for Chairman African. What are Tacky's best leadership characteristics that you have seen?
His leadership, his activity, and his ability to show others that you can make a potential in a group that's not big, and it can also make a dent, that it is acceptable to be a lower rank. He's also shown that it is not always the best way for a group to have lots of officers, that you could stay in enlisted rank and you still earn and gain that respect that lots of people want.
Okay. Here's another question for you. What do you expect to receive out of General Tacky serving as Vice Chairman and Joint Chief of Staff?
I expect what I've seen in the previous times that I've worked with him: maturity, professionalism, realism, and activity. And overall, to make the armed forces be good.
Okay,
Image out there.
Tacky. How do you plan to create more trainings to help our soldiers be battle ready, like you said?
Finding staff like this CMC that are dedicated to the armed forces.
Okay. What is your plan to create more strong leaders that we need in this military?
Dedication is key to success. To instill respect and humbleness in each other and every one of them. Each of my enlisted and officers will respect every CI, SS, and every agent that protects those of authority because respect I. Respect is needed in all units.
Okay. What is your stance on senior enlisted and their roles? For instance, to me, senior enlisted are very important in the military, and they are the backbone of the military, and they should be held with the same respect as a general and the same responsibilities as a general.
The senior enlisted are key to making the military a success. For instance, a SEAC needs to make sure that the military is maintaining an active state that is up to regulations.
Okay. My next question is, would you have anybody in mind that would be fit to be a SEAC, a senior enlisted advisor to the chairman? Although that is, never mind, don't answer that question. I'll leave that for another time. For African Savior and you together at different times. But I yield my time on the floor. I rest my time to the Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you, Senator Anubis. Mr. Woodland, would you like to ask any questions? All right, Mr. Woodland, you have the committee's attention, and you have a limited time. Senator Woodland says, so General Tacky, our military has been a problem. Do you think you can change the military with the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff?
Tacky Shutter says, indeed, me and African have a great respect and sense of unity for each other, which will bring the military together as a whole.
Senator Woodland says, okay. Senator Woodland says, do you have any special operation experience?
Tacky Shutter says, yes, I have been in many operations in SUSM, and was once a Navy SEAL.
Senator Woodland says thank you. Then Senator Woodland yields.
All right, thank you, Senator Woodland. I'm going to ask one more question. Now, maybe some more depending on how this goes. General Tacky, can you describe exactly what you did as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff inside of Sticky's USM, and how some of the things you witnessed will be beneficial to this USM as vice chairman?
Tacky says, my first priority was finding honorable staff. Tacky Shotter says, once that perfect set of staff was chosen, I needed to regulate each branch and continue to assure myself that every job was being done. Tacky Shotter says, I will continue those traits in this USM by making sure our two branches at the moment are active in pursuing the idea of realism in all events and activities. Not only will this make outsiders from opposing USMs interested in USA, they will want to strive and be to the standard of ours.
All right. Now, you previously mentioned you were in NetC, which for those of you who are not aware, that's Naval Education and Training Command. Me myself, being a former TechCom guy, I understand the struggles with some of that stuff and trying to find adequate, not only drill instructors, but in your case, recruit division commanders. And in the Army's case, drill sergeants and MTIs in the Air Force. I'm sure you have also seen the issue of people are more interested in. I think we kind of hit on this previously, but this is even more the case. And people are more interested in being in those higher level trainings, and they don't like the grind that you sometimes have to do. And while that's the easy part to get through, trying to find adequate RDCs or DIs is sometimes extremely hard. What are some ways you want to try and promote things like training commands uh, and it as an essential part of our military?
General Tacky Shotter says, unfortunately, one of the only ways to do this is to assure them that this is just one step for their future. I believe myself and African both have to obtain these positions, and those positions have set the path for where we are today. Leading a military to their full potential. We need to ensure all drill instructors, etc., that hard work is vital to pursuing their career.
In the past, I think we tend to see this happen more command staff wise, with issues like it seems to be more prevalent not just in standalone USMs, but also USMs that have to work in conjunction with the government or have a face in a USA game to, show that the their personnel is active, but also capable of serving those positions. So, how do you, General Tacky, plan to ensure that all enlisted members and officers are being mature and staying in line with such a small amount of commanding officers and commanding generals that we have at this moment?
General Tacky says, consequences. If their misconduct, then those recruits shall be suspended or warned that their actions were not acceptable.
All right. I think it was mentioned before, as we see a buildup of possible use of force in North Korea and recent events and alliance talks between Canada, how do you intend to try and promote activity and promote recruitment in such not tough times, but times of need of armed forces?
General Tacky says, me and African both have been stressing to those we are trying to recruit our active realism. General Tacky says, I've already taken into action with Mr. President, the SecDef, and African a new plan for recruitment. Nothing further.
All right, thank you. I believe that's the last of my questions. All right, now, Senator Woodland, Senator Anubis, do you have any other further questions?
No, Mr. Chairman.
All right, Woodland. All right, he said no. Would either of you like to make any closing statements?
I would.
All right, Senator Anubis, you have the floor.
From asking my questions and from Mr. Webby asking his questions, I see that you two have grown a strong connection as chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staffs and vice chairman of Joint Chiefs of Staffs. You guys have a strong history, and I like that. And I like all your answers, General Tacky and Chairman Savior. And what I like to say is I do like you two together, and I do like you as Vice Chairman of Joint Chief of Staff. And I like to end my closing statement with, let it be known that David 1 is not here.
Yeah, do you yield?
And I do yield to Mr. Chairman.
All right, thank you. I will go ahead and make my closing remarks, and then the Senator's president in the Discord will be conducting a vote in the Armed Services text channel. So just put your vote in there, and we will announce that afterwards. As far as my closing statements, I'd like to echo what Senator Anubis said. Serving with him previously in USMs, I understand exactly where he's coming from with the not only the cohesion you two share together, and it's something I've seen previously, and myself being in a similar position as you two, working with a man as my vice chairman, whom I served with for a while. If any of you know Bumps 123 and Dakota M990, who's the current sergeant at arms of the Senate, we all had a little trio during my time as chairman, Bumps as vice chairman, and Dakota as SEAC. And from the looks of it, when you have a group of people that you two appear to be, and I'm sure Sniper fits in there, then I'm expecting high hopes out of this command staff of the military we have right now. Serving with generals, or serving as president during General Savior's original tenure as chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, and having a high respect for him and his decisions, I'm more than happy to commend him on making such a good pick and bringing such an honorable man into our armed services. And I will be voting in your favor most likely, and I will encourage my caucus to vote similarly from the questions you presented us, and from not only being able to attend on such short notice, but give very comprehensive and not only qualified answers, but answers that we need right now with the state of our armed services being left at a good standard, but only with qualified answers to improve. And I look forward to seeing you serving as vice chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. And I hope your tenure in that position will bring great honor to our military and to our country. With that, the senators currently present, and taking into account Senator Alexander Sterling's vote, if you wouldn't mind placing your vote in the Armed Forces text channel, and we will go from there. All right. After conducting a vote, we have determined that you will pass this committee with a vote of 4 ayes, no nays, and 1 abstain due to an excused absence. I'd like to congratulate the vice chairman on moving 1 step further to officiating his position, and look to continue a high standard of our military. You'll be voted on at the closest Senate meeting, either by wall votes or during a live session. I now call this committee to recess, and I hope you all have a good evening.
Thanks for listening in. This has been the Armed Services Committee for General Tacky Shotter, presented by the Drama of the Government.